Hi there and welcome to Big Fan of Photo TV, where you can watch, choose and shoot. I'm James and I'm going to show you an in-depth look at ioShutter that connects your two favourite things, your iPhone and your SLR camera. But it also works with the Canon G series compacts, and it works with Samsung and Pentax, Canon and Nikon SLRs. It also works with a lot of the Fuji mirrorless cameras and even the Hasselblad medium format. So it's not just about controlling your SLR with your iPhone. So what have we got? ioShutter gives you the ability to control your camera pretty much hands-free. Now, why would you want to do that? You can get amazing high-end pro effects when you're using this kind of system. Now, the reason why is because without needing to touch your camera, the first thing that happens is even with your camera locked down on a tripod, you get absolutely pin-sharp photos, even at night. So if you've ever seen photos with those long light trails of cars driving around or super blurry people, ioShutter will do that for you. The other thing that you may have seen is amazing star trail photos. ioShutter will do that for you. Then it'll also do a lot of other stuff. It will do time lapse, so you can set your camera to take a photo every 1, 2, 5 seconds, pretty much any interval that you like. And then software that often comes free with your computer can suck it all up and spit out an amazing time-lapse film where things are really sped up. So if you've ever seen clouds whizzing across the sky or people walking across huge intersections in Tokyo, that's time-lapse. ioShutter makes that really easy. It's even got a sound trigger. So that means that you can trigger your camera by shouting, laughing, a door closing, that kind of thing, which is great for fun, but it's also great if you're trying to get kids to smile when their photo's taken, because they shout and then they burst out laughing when the camera goes. Really cool. So let's have a little look inside ioShutter. What do you get when you buy one? So the first thing you'll find is you get a really cool drawstring bag that makes it really easy to find amongst your camera gear, but most importantly, when you're actually using ioShutter, it's about the same size as an iPhone or an iPod Touch, so you can easily hang your iDevice from your tripod when you're shooting with it, which is really, really handy. Depending on which model that you get, and you'll find the details on the product page, you may find that you get a couple of tips with your ioShutter, so it's also just a great place to keep your tip. ioShutter was invented by me back in 2011, and so there are a couple of others on the market that you may have seen, some of our competitors that sort of jumped on there when they saw what we were doing. Why would you choose ioShutter over any of the others? Two really simple reasons. ioShutter is the only iPhone camera control that uses microchip circuitry, which costs us a bit more, but you'll find some great deals on the website. It means that it's really, really super reliable because the circuitry is really, really good. And the other thing is it's the only one that also controls your autofocus. If you're doing long exposure photography, you probably want to keep your camera on manual, but there are plenty of times when you'll want autofocus working. And ioShutter, your autofocus works, your camera can even be woken up by it if you're using the timer function. So that is ioShutter. Pretty cool. Just make sure that you check the website for the details about which model to order, because there are a couple of different models, but I'll explain in a minute what happens if you accidentally buy the one for a camera that you don't have. Nothing to worry about at all. So that is ioShutter. Hit the product link to jump to the product page to get yours. Remember, we ship for a flat rate. It's only 99p all over the UK, and we ship to continental Europe as well. Now, that includes VAT. There are no import duties or anything because we're based here in England, in Bristol, which is where we ship from. The other thing to remember is, in the unlikely event that you get it and you decide it's not for you, thanks to our try-at-home guarantee, you've got 30 days to return it, no questions asked, for a full exchange, for a full refund, or even an exchange if you want to. So remember to check out our email newsletter, because we feature bundles on there. So you can sometimes, we're running bundles where you get a free ioShutter if you buy a tripod and all sorts of other good stuff. So hit the link to make sure you're on our email newsletter. That's it from me. Till next time, thanks for watching.